Hello.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
How's everybody
Hello,
doing?
everyone in the chat.
Hello, everybody in the chat.
Yeah, hello, everybody, and welcome to League of Extraordinary Vapers on this Sunday. Once again, we are back.
Episode 65.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy, isn't it?
Jesus.
65, and I don't think we've done a whole episode where we stayed on topic.
No, never.
No.
Well, we could do that if we did like a 25-minute show on a Sunday.
Maybe. Maybe.
Cheers, Sean. Fancy title screen. Shame about the lineup. Okay.
Thank you.
We're missing our star player tonight, aren't we? We're missing our star player. Vinny's off on holiday.
Yeah, he's bugged it off.
There's always been something off about him. I don't know about the holiday or not. I'm just trying to remember.
Oh, there he is. Look, there he is. He's in the chat. Where's the star of the show?
He's getting pissed on some bloody Spanish island somewhere with his tits out.
I don't think it's a Spanish island. I think it's a Greek island, isn't it?
I don't know. I thought he went somewhere.
He doesn't have to self-isolate when he comes back. If he went to Spain, he would do so.
He should self-isolate anyway because he's ginger, but that's another story.
He's not on a plane. We've seen the pictures.
There's no one to laugh at. No, Vinny's not here.
But anyway, welcome everybody to chat. Who we got in? We've got Ryan Fro. We've got Sean Toop. Obviously, Nick's in the chat. Good old Nick, our moderator with the band hammer. Got Chris Mostyn, Adam Day, Ian Nelson. Hello, Ian. Nasty Coils.
Hello, Facebook user. Whoever
Tracy.
it was, hello. Please allow StreamYard to see your name.
Adele Rayner's in the chat. Evening, Adele. Ginger Lives Matter, apparently.
Sorry, I was just messing about with getting stuff up on my other screen. I've actually...
Whoever Facebook user is, we don't know who it is. It's
Ginger lives do not matter. That is something that I can't get behind. Right, Adele. And to be honest, if you should see some of the state of the things I have got behind in the past, you'd find that quite alarming. But I digress. So yeah. So how is everybody? I've just breaking news just come in that the government are talking about locking down all the over 45-year-olds, and meanwhile the average age of UK government official is between the ages of 40 and 60. So it looks like the government are talking about locking themselves down and fuck everyone else.
We'll lock ourselves down so we don't have to do any more work and we can still get paid a ridiculous amount of money to do it.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, you know me, just a bit of.
You mean it, Steve? Well,
political correctness has not yet reached gingers, unfortunately, for gingers.
I don't think they ever will.
No, I don't think they ever will. I think there's a worldwide disdain for ginger people, and it's not really frowned upon.
I can't really say too much because my daughter's ginger.
Well, you're a carrier. You're not affected, apart from your beard.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a ginger beard.
Yeah.
Different though. You only need the one gene to have a ginger beard. You need both genes to have ginger hair.
Yeah.
My daughter's got ginger hair.
Zero ginger anywhere. Got a bit of grey, just a bit, but no ginger.
Anyway, should we? Oh, is Rabbit in the chat? I can't see Rabbit in the chat.
It's Rabbit there.
Hello,
Rabbit. Rabbit is that the Facebook user then? Rabbit must be.
Yeah, you would assume Rabbit would. Grant StreamYard permission, but maybe not. But if it is, obviously you'll see it on Facebook. We won't see it here, so one of those.
Sean's comment: if it wasn't for gingers, WD-40 wouldn't have been invented. Oh dear, Sean, you do make me laugh, mate. You do make me laugh. Yeah, mate. I'm the same. Nasty coils. I'm 41 in November.
Ross, good. This is an anti-ginger channel. I'm off.
Well, if you're ginger, you're already off.
It's definitely not an anti-ginger channel, considering 2 members of the panel are ginger.
Yeah, exactly.
So, you know.
Who's the other ginger then?
You.
I'm not ginger though. Just my beard.
Let me guess. You're strawberry blonde.
No.
We're gonna get into 50 Shades of Ginger soon, and like different grades. Like if you got the full on freckles, no eyebrows, and you like burn in like any sunlight at all, then like that's top grade. And then if you just got a few ginger hairs or something, then yeah, it's you'll be a little bit higher. You'll be little bit higher up on the ladder. Anyway, Sean, I'm 52. My mum was ginger.
Should we just skip straight into what we're vaping? We want to know what you're vaping as well in the chat. So
yeah, what's everybody vaping on? I'm just eating nothing exciting. I've just got my billet box with me. Same one that I've had for the last few weeks, just because I can't be asked big mech hits messing up the camera and stuff all the time like it does.
You still got fluffer in that?
6 milligram fluffer, and I'm still on the same coil. And still, I've been on this coil. Like, I haven't got a counter, so I don't know. But I've been using it for like 5 weeks now, 4 weeks, something like that.
How expensive is a billet box? It doesn't have a puff counter.
I mean, I can turn it. I can turn the puff counter on. I can mess about with it, and I can get a puff counter on. It's doable. It's just not. They've got their own they've got their own theme. It's the Dino Doug theme or something like that, and yeah, it's their own layout. But yeah,
Ryan's on a Dreamer, Bonza, and some custard crack by the sound of it.
Well, we assume it's custard crack. We hope it's custard crack, right? If not, you know where I am, mate. You can always reach out.
Oh, nice. That glass pound cake's good. He just mini P&P pour with glass. Oh, what's Vinny on? What's Vinny on out in wherever he is? He's on his
Lycan Strawberry Blood from Tab Boy and TIA Puck.
Nice. So you've given the smock tank a bit of a rest, then, have you, Vinny? Because that's what you were on in the smock shelter last night.
There's some really nice setups going on here tonight, guys.
Yeah.
My nice. Bruised pink lemonade. Very nice. Very nice.
Do you know what? I've never been able to get on with pink lemonade. I don't know why.
Oh, I quite like a pink lemonade.
I've got one actually. Which is like some random American one that I've had for ages, and it's actually pretty good, but it's got a bit of Coolager in it, and that just ruins it for me totally.
Oh, I bet that's tasting phenomenal then. Like things like bakeries and stuff, they like custards. They tend to get better with age.
Yeah, like this fluffer that I'm on is like at least 2 years old. Like at least. Gen mod with some fat. 2.0 raspberry citrus. A lot of these juices I've never even heard of. I really need to step out of my comfort zone with juice. Like I just make the same shit all the time. Like
real terrible.
I do things like suddenly
custard. Oh, Devon custard. Only Devon knows how they make it so creamy.
Yeah, I've got a good idea.
I'm from Devon, and I have to put on a Devonian accent to say that. Some
sounds SPX, but got my Atom with Elite V3 with butterscotch custard as well. That sounds nice. I like a bit of butterscotch custard.
Oh yeah,
very nice, very nice. Maybe we should start doing like a rate your modern juice section, like.
Yeah, we could do
the LXV group onto the actual page.
Like how Gordon Ramsay does a thing where he just fucking berates people's food.
Yeah, that's Gordon Ramsay's whole personality. He just berates everything and anything. I think the guy's great.
We could do like an LXV roast my setup section.
It always makes me laugh when people go, real chefs don't act like that anyway. It's like, yeah, you haven't worked in any fucking real kitchens.
Real most of them are fucking angry pricks, mate.
Yeah, of course they are. Working like 70 hours a week in a fucking furnace.
It's a fucking shit job, man. You've got to love it. You've got to love it to want to do it.
Hey, listen, I know all about it. I mean, you know, I did it for long enough, and like, I don't think people realize how physically fucking draining it is, let alone mentally as well. It's, you know, it's absolutely just like my feet just used to ache from walking backwards in and out from the carvery with the fucking trays of veg and all day, like backwards and forwards, the amount of miles. Like if I had a step counter, it would have been like through the roof.
Yeah, there we go. Hashtag rate my vape.
Yeah, Zippy did say having a cool wall, that we need a cool wall.
Yeah, we can do it. It's just trying to find a way to do it.
Nothing would ever end up on there because we'd all just argue about it forever. And we'd be like, that's not cool because this guy Dave I know, he's a complete wanker and he's got one, so it can't be cool.
Shit by association. Like, you know when you meet a child for the first time and they've got a name of somebody you really fucking hate, and you instantly dislike that child because it's by association.
Yeah.
And you've got the same name.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it's like anything. I mean, I saw a really funny post on Facebook earlier, completely unvape related, of course. And it was about people comparing LeBron to Jordan, like, you know, like saying he's better than him and he's done this and he's done that. I don't even get. Yeah, but like literally, like Jordan's outdone. It's still like he still hasn't outdone Jordan on anything. So it doesn't. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't really matter. Like, you know, people like at the end of the day, like the stats are the stats. They are what they are. But all I just said on who the fuck wants to wear a pair of LeBrons? Like literally, like who the fuck wants to, like, do you know what I mean? Some of the comments were like both of them support sweatshop labor in Chinese. Like, you know, it's just like the amount of shit on Facebook lately. It's just like,
oh mate,
yeah.
Anyway, Chris, what are you vaping?
Yeah,
what are you vaping, Chris?
I'm on my hacker as always.
A nice hacker.
Yeah, with my patinaed Asgard Mini.
With your dirty Asgard Mini, you mean? You just haven't bothered cleaning.
I'm leaving it dirty to match with the patina.
Right, okay.
It will just go black, not green, you know that.
Yeah.
That's when I'll look at cleaning it. But then again, black is my favourite colour, so I might just leave it. I'm up. That's on some custard crack. I do love that stuff. Next is a new. This is my sticking, which I got from Paul the other day to go with my Apocalypse WOV.
War vapes. Yeah. Nice.
With the Patriot tip. On that, I have some Sad Boy Butter Cookie. Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah, and this one, when I saw Adele come in, I just thought I'd have to grab this one just to tease her. Mr. Four Horseman here.
I've heard Adele likes a big hog.
Yeah, she does. And on that, I've got some Sad Boy Pumpkin Cookie, which actually, out of all the ones I've tried so far, this is in second place for my favourite, like very close to first.
When you need some more juice, Chris, give me a shout. I've got some Sad Boy Pumpkin Cookie that's got your name all over it, mate. At a very good price. Don't worry about that. I'll do
it after the show.
All right, Del Boy.
Literally, I got like 7 bottles.
Do these bottles just have like road tar on them by any chance? Like Del Boy?
No. There's absolutely nothing wrong with them. Like they're from like the same Sad Boy. I bought a fuckload when it first was available in the UK, didn't I? I just went for the big bag.
You're rocking up to Expo, and I was like, mate, you got any Sad Boys? Yep, take your pick. Just fucking laid out this, basically opened a suitcase full of Sad Boy and fucking coils and cotton and fucking, I was like,
ODB wraps.
Fucking had a load of Stormbreakers as well, didn't you? I remember. I think I bought more from you in a hotel room that year than I bought a fucking expo.
I was a mobile stall, you know.
Yeah, you were, mate. Fucking me and Zippy got Stormbreakers with the wrong fucking serial number cards in them because we were they got mixed up.
Yeah, they all got mixed up, but I was like, oh yeah. That was a brilliant weekend. What are you vaping on anyway, Josh?
I am on. So I'm on my.
It's going to be an Immortal.
My SS Morningstar reactor.
Nice.
With a POC 25, the OD green one on top. I think that actually works quite
That's
well.
the gear. That's the gear, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a gear.
Yeah.
Obviously, some of Andy's coils. It's actually firing quite nicely for an SS. It's quite feisty.
That'll be the coils.
That's the coils, yeah.
The reactors are actually good fucking mods.
Yeah,
I'll be honest.
Really mod. So that's got the last of my my Urban Avenue, the blue ras and grey.
The gangster granny shit.
Yeah. I'm still on my grip from last week.
Nice.
Looking with the same company, but the Purple District, which I can't remember what the flavor profile is, but it's good. I like it. And then I thought I'd go a bit old school. So I'm on my Copper Aftermath.
Nice, man.
So rock out to making
copper RDA on it though.
What?
You could have put a copper RDA on it.
The only copper RDA I've got is 25. It's got overhang. I'm like, can't do it. So redemption on top.
Yeah, I forget. Not everybody's got every single Apocalypse ever released.
We know
actually, saying that, you've got the only one. You've got one of the only two Apocalypse that I haven't got. Chris is the War of Vapes. It's one of the only two I haven't got. It's the green camo. Yeah, and the War of Vapes.
Yeah, this one was I believe was Ariel's own mod for quite a long time. So it was number 14. So it's got a bit of a ding in it. I got this off Vinny, so it's a bit of a collector's piece for me to have. Doesn't leave the house, but still vapes well.
Mate, do you know what? My team mod. I was using my team mod with like a Molicel P28 in it actually, and I was using that. Mine's a team exclusive, the copper one, not the. Okay. You got the basic.
Yeah, the team basic. Yeah.
Yeah. I did have one of them, but I had a couple. I had the team exclusive and a basic, and they both got robbed out the mail. So nice. That was a bit gutting. Put me off getting a team mod for Wobble, and I got the team exclusive. And do you know what? I found it hit just as well as any other bottom fire mod. Really, I'll be honest with you. Like now with decent cells in it, you know.
The thing is, my molly cells have been pinched by the wife, and I've been left with her VTC 5As.
Oh man, come on! How long did we rock VTC 5As? And have no issues with them whatsoever.
No. Oh, mate, I was a huge advocate for a VTC 5A, man. I used to, and it was like I remember walking into a shop. Have you got any VTC 5As? No, I've only got 25 R. Well, you're fucking shit, man. Yeah. You call yourself a fucking vape shop and you ain't got VTC 5As?
I mean, the thing is 25 Rs are good for regs, right? Do you know what I mean? Like they're all right for regs, but even then, 30Q is a better option for regs. Now, for real, 25 Rs were shit, and people shouldn't have been using them for fucking 0.07 builds. I personally don't think
they're all right in a regulated mod, but then you'd use an LG 30Q.
I just didn't understand why people chose so buy a £300 purge mod, for example, right? And then when it comes to the batteries, they have this thing where they're like, oh no, I'm going to buy the cheapest batteries I can, and I'm like, well, that's essentially the engine of your mod. Do you know what I'm saying? That is literally the engine. That and the switch is the engine. And
we all used to before the VTC 5A came out, though. Really,
Yeah, but
We
I
all
wasn't
used to
vaping that
use-
low. I'm like, do you know what I mean? I
I
was like
used to
back
use
then.
I used to use 25 hours in my mech, but I wouldn't go that low then. I'd
Yeah,
be on
like
like,
back.
I'd be on like a
Point where it
0.11.
made. Or
Do you know what? Even with the VTC 5As, I never really used to like going below point one, like, you know. But then I didn't go that low for a long, long time.
I wonder where you
It's
got that one from.
it's only been recently, well, not recently, I say the last couple of years, since the more people have been asking for low resistance builds, that I've actually been doing them, because there's actually cells out there that it's pretty much safe to use them with. So, you know, back when there wasn't, I didn't feel comfortable selling people 0.07 builds and them using them on a 25R. I just didn't feel comfortable doing it. So I used to do all my builds at 0.1, and I used to tell people, yeah, you want it at 0.08 or 0.7, take a wrap off.
I mean, I think that kind of leads quite nicely into the first topic that we were going to talk about this evening.
It does. It was a little.
Yeah, that does actually.
Sean, I just read Rimfire, right, and just got a flashback just of the terrible stomach issues I've been having over the last.
They are banging bargains, mate. They are banging bargains, because they will blow up.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, though, Sean's probably using him in a reg, so, you know.
Yeah, no, I mean, but anyway, we had a little topic set up.
Yeah,
you've got it up there on the screen, I think, Andy, didn't you? So
I have.
we were going to go on about. So Fogstar posted earlier about a nice little piece about Molicel, or Molicell's not that. Molicel are the name of the battery company now, but beforehand it was Molly. It will say in the article, going about how Molicel and how we as vapers should all be really using Molicels. They are the only battery company out there that actually advocate, you say their batteries are fine for vaping use. Sony, LG, Samsung, as we all know now, literally printing on their batteries, not for vaping use. Or Sanyo, Panasonic, who are the other four battery manufacturers. And then there's Molicel, who we like. But there was a nice little piece about Molicel, and people think Molicel are new to the scene. They're not, and this piece sort of tells you how good Molicel are. So I'll let Andy read it out, because he's got it on his screen.
Well, what I'm going to actually do, right? Okay, so basically, the heading of the piece is "New Lessons from the Epic Story of Molly Energy, the Canadian pioneer of rechargeable lithium battery technology." Now, this is an 8-minute read, so I'm obviously not going to sit here for 8 minutes and read it. What I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to post the link in the comments. So if anybody does want to have a look at it, then, you know, obviously feel free to do so. But basically, what it does is it just, you know, I'll read the first few paragraphs out. Yeah. British Columbia-based Molly Energy is renowned as a technology innovator that spawned great ideas and great talent, including today's industry leader, Jeff Dunn, then collapsed 30 years on. With potential growth in the offing is a story, again, pointing Canada forward. It was a bit weird the way that's actually it's like, yeah. For Professor
their ups and downs, but
yeah. For Professor Jeff Dunn, one of the most thrilling tales never told is the story of how a tiny Canadian battery lab in the 1980s became a central global player in the lithium battery development race. For those who don't know who Dunn is a leading international authority on rechargeable lithium batteries, a professor of physics at Dalhousie University. Basically, what it does, it just goes on to show you Molicel's background and how they're not this new kid on the block like people think they are. You know, and it just goes on to show that how basically a lot of the battery technology that we've got, then, you know, they've basically been the pioneers of that. So them supporting vaping and them being in vaping is just an absolutely brilliant thing, in my opinion. I'm just going to have a look. I'm posting this as myself. There you go. I've hit limit. I'm trying to aim vaping industries, companies. Let me push. Yeah, of course. I mean, like, why wouldn't they push a company that is actually saying? I mean, look, you got to look at public liability on that, right? Now, basically, like, you know, I remember talking to Patrick and Murph at Half Moon Mods. Now, I was talking to them when the Pocket Rocket was in prototyping stages, and we got onto the subject of cells. They were talking about, should we do it for 2650? Should it be 21700? What should we do? And they actually said that their public liability insurance won't actually cover them for certain brands of batteries. So if you were using, for example, a Sanyo battery rather than an LG 2650, their public liability insurance was not covered. So when these companies are actually printing on the label, on the battery, on the wrap that it's sold in, that's the retail, that's the wrap that it gets sold to the customer in from a vape shop, saying do not use in a vape device, right? So if somebody then goes off, vents a cell, blows their lips off, okay, then they can go and say, well, look, this shop sold me this battery, told me that it was fine, and this and that and the other. So yeah, of course, anybody that's business savvy in that sense would be promoting a company where they know they're going to be covered for their public liability, which obviously is probably cells is the main thing of the public liability in vaping, really. Do you know what I mean? Because that's the main thing that can go wrong, or the most common thing that can go wrong. You know, so
and I will just state this now: cells don't go wrong. It's user error. So
it's very hard to vent a 21700.
I mean, in my whole time of vaping, I've not vented a battery. I've had a battery get extremely hot in a mod, and I've whipped it out and got rid of the battery, and that's that done. That's fine, but it's generally user error, or not. We're not going to go into battery safety and this, that, and the other, because that's a whole fucking
can of worms.
Yeah. But
yeah,
we just wanted to say again, like, you know, on this channel, how actually all of us really support Molicel.
Yeah, definitely.
That's because they support the industry.
They support us. They support vaping. Like, you know, it's one of these things. I mean, look, Vic's made a comment there. I'm in the process of replacing all my 1-year-old Sony and 2-year-old vape cells with Molicel. I have a lot of batteries, though, so it's going to take a few weeks. Also, look up 4680 battery on Google. Now,
I just looked at the 4680s. Them by Tesla, and them really small little batteries.
Yeah, they're solid state cells, are they? I believe.
So solid state's the new thing, and they've been trying to pull off the battery for ages, because it'll change the game when it comes out.
I mean, how long did it take them to do it with computers, though? I mean, like, from when the actual invention of solid state for them to actually being inside you, like most people, it took fucking decades.
We're talking years off. I mean, and they're not looking at this for us. They're looking at this for more like this is what will really push forward the electric vehicles. Do you know what I mean? When they can get a solid state battery design that works, electric vehicles will take over the world, because they will go for a long time, and they're less dangerous.
Less dangerous, less harmful chemicals in the air, less noise as well.
Lithium ion to produce is a fucking huge cost. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's not good for the environment at all.
No, it's not. It's not good.
At the minute, it's still our most usable battery technology. So, but this is what brings us back to Molicel. Actually, the guy that's part of Molicel, they actually came up with that lithium ion design. They pioneered that design, and we've got a lot of them to thank. You know, they're not a new kid on the block. So, and they support us. So,
yeah, and a majority of cells were actually coming from Molicel and being rewrapped and sold on as other brands and stuff like that for a long time.
The original VAP cells were Mollies.
Yeah.
Which is why they were so good. The later ones were shite. I'll be honest with you, like, you know. But the thing is, if VAP cell have gone, actually, we can get this battery cheaper from another company, then why are they not going to switch? This is the problem with battery rewrappers, is they they'll often go to where they can get the batteries cheapest at the time. Or they're getting the same battery. And the other good thing with Molly Cell supporting us is they're going to give us a good quality battery, unlike someone might buy in 10,000 Samsungs, but they might be C grade rather than B grade or A grade. So the batteries, when they're made, they're rated, they're graded. And most of so there's not a chance in hell that Samsung or Sony or LG give out A grade cells to people wanting to buy them at wholesale for vape shop. They go to the people that are putting them in laptops or fucking DeWalt drills or Dyson Hoovers, or because they'll pay extra.
I agree with what Vic has just said. That Molly cells are actually more expensive, but he doesn't mind spending a bit more money. Same here. If they are genuinely supporting the industry that I'm buying it for, I don't mind paying that little extra.
Yeah, they're supporting us, but I guarantee. Well, I can't say I guarantee, but you are going to be getting a good grade battery. You're not going to be getting some shit that they're just pushing out cheap.
I mean, I've just put this into the comments anyway, but that's what I was going to say is they actually have a longer lifespan. This is what I've noticed is, I mean, I can only go by, I'm no mooch, I'm not an expert on batteries or anything like that, but all I can go by, and what I tend to do is by testing my cells, I put them into an IntelliCharger, and I look at how often it has to put them on a trickle charge, like charging them like a quarter of an amp. Do you know what I'm saying? Which is what tends to this is what I used to find was with, say, Samsung 30Ts, that after, say, 6 months of use, that they'd actually start degrading. I'd pretty much replace them at that point because they just trickle charge, and that was it. Which basically is your charger telling you that the battery is damaged and it's trying to trickle charge it to repair it. I mean, that's a massive oversimplification, by the way, but that's basically what it means. So with the monocells, I've noticed that hasn't actually been happening at all. I haven't had that happen, and I've been using monocells. I mean, me and Josh, I know, have definitely been using them for a long time now, since they were available. I've actually got P42As. I've got I've got the P28As and the P26As. Now, the P28As were 2,800 milliamp hours rather than 26, but they stopped them for some reason, or they're not available.
Yeah, I've got P28As and they're still going strong.
Yeah, and they haven't been available for a while either. I don't know why that is either. I don't know why, because they actually got a good rating from Mooch.
Okay. Thanks, Vic. I appreciate that.
Yeah, Asus, Bosch, and if you have two, they're all updating 658 grade cells. Everyone else gets a B, C, bin, D grade, end up with voltage trust light. Yeah, exactly. That's 100% correct. That is. You got companies like Asus and stuff like that. The
vaping industry is not going to compete with these massive tech giants when it comes to that. They can't.
No, I mean, look, like Ben Fogsay, he might sell a lot of cells, but he's not going to be on par with Asus, for example. Who they're putting them in their laptops and all the other different technologies that that they use for, so they're going to get the top pick. Now, this is one of the reasons why the Samsungs were actually quite good, the 30Ts and stuff like that, they were actually decent cells, and the reason is because they didn't get the bottom, the bargain basement ones. They got a better grade.
Great.
I mean, when you compare, I get a lot of people that say, yeah, but the 30T hits harder than the P42A, and yeah, it does for, say, the first 10 hits. It does hit a little bit harder. So if you comp, if you're doing cloud comps or whatever, then maybe it might give you a little bit of advantage. But I'd say that that's a bit of a gazebo effect going on there, because it's not in real world difference. of how much you get in, then I think there's a lot of other things that, like technique and stuff, and different things to do with comping that give you a better edge than having a slightly harder hitting battery.
Someone that's good at cloud comping is going to beat you whether they've got a molly cell or a 30T in their mech.
Look, right. That's when you're talking about everything else being equal, everything else being absolutely equal, and then maybe the person with a 30T over molly cell might get away. But as cloud comps are judged by people viewing them, right, watching them, then it doesn't come into it because they don't measure it with anything other than some fucking masking tape on the wall. It's not like they do. This mod actually harder. Yeah, it's not like it's throwing how many volts it's putting out and stuff like that up on like some fucking scoreboard at the top, so it knows how hard it's hitting or whatever. That's not how it works, But people will say that. They will say, "Well, I comp, so I use them." And it's like, what you comp all day, every day? So what you because you comp once a month or twice a year. You use them batteries every day in your mods rather than using ones that get you more. Do you know what I mean? Like
more reliable base.
Yeah, it's just. It's once you get like Mooch actually said. Look, Molly said the P42A actually does compete with the 30T above 30 amps. So if you're not vaping at above 30 amps, then it's really it's no difference because that's the only time that they are. But obviously, point one is 42 amps. So you see a lot of people like comps have changed. Like it used to be 0.1, and that was it. And it was more of an even playing field. I think personally, I can actually take more vapor in from a 0.1 build than I can from an 07 build. Do you know what I mean? Because literally, if you can only hit it for 3 seconds versus 5, and you've got a lot more control on the exhale and stuff like that, and you can actually push it properly rather than coughing it out, which I've seen people, and they take 3-second pulls and literally, it's one of them things, that
I know who Andy's talking about.
No. It's literally something I've seen in all cloud competitions. I've seen it happen ever since the thing of outlaw, or what they used to call the outlaw class, being the main class now. It's just a fucking free for all. You can use a triple series if you fucking want, and that's the thing. You're seeing people using stacks in cloud comps and stuff. And for me, it just using a stack at 0.25, and it's wow, okay, I'd be able to hit that for about a second. Yeah, exactly, Vic. That is what I'm seeing, and the thing is as well, it's got a counter as well, so you can actually see. For me, it would make more sense, right, to take the full 5-second hit and be able to control it and actually get a decent cloud out. I don't get me wrong, I do vape low 0.06, 7 and stuff like that, but not all the time. I mean, it's a bit much for me. It's only series.
I won't really go below 0.1, especially on mech. Just the way I have, the way I've come off throughout the years. It's just the way I've always done it.
See, I like a low build. I mean, and Andy knows I like a low build because he makes all my coils for me. So,
yeah,
I've requested some pretty low builds from Andy in the time, and that's what I like. I do like a low build, but I'm not comping on them. I like a hot, warm, quite intense vape. So, a hot, warm load.
Nick's just making reference to some guy on Matthew's live yesterday. Oh my god, he gave me Vape Rage. The guy did. He was vaping at 0.2 on a stack, and I was just right, okay. I was what? And people were what stack? And stuff, and asked it. And so I asked him what build it was, and he proper coils, fused Claptons, and it was just the guy. I just wanted to scream. You know, I was just like, wow. Like, I'm not being funny, right? As a coil builder, I'm not saying this to disparage anybody else's coils or anything like that. But if you've got to go as low as 0.2, right, to get a decent fucking hit off a stack, then you need some better coils, because there's absolutely no need.
Or you're vaping a stacked bonza.
Yeah, or you're vaping a stacked potato. You know, I mean, like, it may as well, like I said in it may as well be like a stack of fucking 2Ps with a 20mm hole fucking drilled through the middle and them all glued together. Because, you know, like, I'm not being funny. That's like fucking 84 amps. Like, you know, it's a lot. And it's like with stacks, the way it works, right? Okay, so everybody's got to remember, even with a side-by-side series mod, yeah, all of the power has to go from, it starts in the bottom and it goes through the other cell, even the side-by-side. You'll have one pointing down, and then you'll have the bridge at the bottom that bridges across and it goes up, right? So all of the power still has to pass through one cell for it to go into the RDA. You know, so you're pushing that the power from the bottom cell through the top cell as well. So people think, oh yeah, because it's 8.4 volts, the amps are lower and this and that and the other, it doesn't matter. It does. It really, really does. I mean, you're not going to vent a cell doing it. Like, you know, you're not going to vent your cells doing it, but you're probably going to, I don't know, explode your lungs at some point. It's just insane. Yeah, series build 0.3 is as low as I really have ever needed to go. 0.3 is that, and I most commonly get asked for 0.35 to 0.4 for series builds. At which point I tell people they're better off with a fused captain build rather than a series alien of that size, because it becomes the diminishing returns, because you get you end up with a bigger cell, bigger coil, sorry, and then it takes more energy and more ramp up time and everything. And yeah, holy smoke, vaping stuff.
What's in that?
That was a little birthday. What do you think's in it, Chris? Vaping stuff. I was just trying to find. There you go.
Hybrid jet.
Some of Andy's beautiful hybrid aliens. Might as well plug it while we're on.
Yeah, called hybrid because they're made of two different types of wire. Like, I just felt, because they're not really just for series mods. Like, you know, they're a great, like, for me, they're great on regulated, like DNAs and stuff like that. If you want to, like, if you want to be, if you like to use a DNA at like 140 watts or whatever, they're bang on. You're better off using a higher resistance build on a reg, because it doesn't actually, you know, was that right? Consistent hit for a longer time is more desirable for most people. Yeah, of course it is. I mean, who wants to be changing their batteries every 5 minutes? Like, I know people literally go out for the day work and they take like 10 cells with them, and I'm like, what the fuck?
I mean, I'll take. So when I leave in the morning for work, I'll put a fresh element mod, and I'll generally take 2 spares. Sometimes when I know I'm going out, I'll take like 4 spares. I'll never use them all, but it's just a case. It's like, I never know where I might be, or I might drop one and dent it, or do you know what I mean? So, or rip a wrap. So I'd rather have spares, but I generally won't get through 2 spares. I'll generally use a battery all day at work, because I'm not vaping heavily at work, obviously, and then I'll change it at the end of the day.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, like for regulated, like I was saying, like using a 0.1 or a 0.07 build on a reg is just absolutely fucking pointless. It's going to hit as hard as whatever you hit the wattage or the voltage to. Like, that's how hard it's going to hit regardless of the resistance. It does not work off Ohm's law. So people thinking they're getting a harder hit or faster ramp up or any of that bullshit, but for a regulated, by using a lower build, they're actually mistaken. The build that I actually say for most people is I do the hybrid aliens in a 0.2, 3mm. That's what I sent you, Chris, for the regulated, the 0.2 aliens I sent you? Do you remember?
A while back, yeah.
Yeah, the 0.2 aliens for the regulated. It's like, because the main reason is because it doesn't drain your battery. Like your battery life will be like, if you're using a dual cell regulated mod, and you're using a 0.2 build in it rather than a 0.1 build, your batteries are going to last roughly 50% longer. You know, there's battery drain calculators and stuff on the internet. You can go and you can check it all out. But, you know, it's just one of them things that's just a fact of it, you know. Yeah, they are good on the hexome as well, Paul. That's basically what I came up with them for, was they
or even that 0.3. That 0.3 would be banging on a hexome.
Yeah,
you can actually the hexome to its full potential rather than going, oh, I'm scared to turn this up and ruin the chip.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's one of them things. I think everybody's just got into this mindset of lower is better, lower is better. I've got to have it hitting as hard as I possibly can. Like, for real, like, if you're sat there driving around in your work car, fucking blowing, using the 0.06 build, fucking, you know, going through
batteries
and juice as well, juice as well. Look, right, it's quite obvious that the more vapor you blow out, the more juice you're wasting, right? I mean, like, it only goes to reason because you're not using it. It's going out of your body and it's going. Yeah. So, you know, like, the lower you build or the higher your wattage is, the more your juice consumption is going to be, the more your battery power consumption is going to be. It's just one of these things that people are, you know, they get into this mindset of, I don't know what's going on there with Chris.
I think he's having dog problems.
X 3.0 do like a low build, but they don't. But they do cry about it. Yeah, the 3.0 chip's actually a little bit better, but they still, like, I don't care what anybody says, they still drain your battery. If you don't, like, when they're not in use, like, they say that they fixed that, but they haven't. Even on the O frames, like, I noticed it. I mean, it takes a lot longer for it to happen, but it still does it. It is, Sean. I mean, you know, I love mechs and this and that and the other, but also at the same time, I know that when I'm vaping on a 07 build, I go through juice like nothing, you know, like it's water. It's one of them things. So, you know, this is one of them things when people always make the joke about how vaping's supposed to be cheaper than smoking. And it's like, yeah, it is if you use a mouth to lung device and, you know, and you're only going through, say, 10, 20 ml juice a week, which some people are vaping nic salts. Yeah, 20 milligram nic salts. I know people, and they're going through max 30 ml juice in a week. You know, it's one of them things, like, you know, and then I know other people that go through 50 ml juice in a fucking day.
Vinny.
Yeah, Vinny does. Vinny goes through fucking shitloads of juice.
How?
Because he sat there and he's constantly vaping all day. He doesn't put it down and give it a rest. He just fucking canes it all day. Just Vinny, isn't it? He probably spills half of it.
Yeah, that kind of brings me on to something that was shared in our chat earlier that I think Nick shared. And I don't know if either of you two saw it. I know Chris saw it for sure. Don't know if you saw it, Andy. So this company, I think it's JUS, JUS.
Right.
Yeah.
And they've come out with a vaporless juice. So, right. So you have to, it's a pod. Has to go in a pod. It has to go in a fresh, clean pod. It can't go in a pod that's had other juice in it. But he was there and he's like, yeah. So, it's marketed as a vaporless juice. So
it's called JUS.
Yeah, like jus,
like a red wine jus, like a fucking.
Yeah, I would go back in the chat and find it, but I've also got the next thing that we were going to talk about.
I can jump into it.
Off my phone. So, but Nick shared it. Nick, you're still in the chat, aren't you, Nick? Can you just? But yeah, like I just didn't. It just seemed weird to me. So there wasn't much. It was just a little video, and. So I think that your boy blows a cloud and make your boy's face like, try this. He puts it in a pod and nothing comes out. And then, like Chris pointed out, I was like, well, I could do that with a pod anyway if I just held it in longer. Do you know what I mean? It just disappears. but it was.
No, right. Okay. Now this might sound a little gimmicky and this and that and the other, but I've been saying
it was swag.
Right. I've been saying. I've been saying about this for a while, and that is.
Thanks, Vic. I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. Now, I've been saying this for ages, and that is that when you're out in public, going around blowing great big clouds in people's faces, whether intentionally or not, it's the wind doing it or whatever, it is fucking antisocial. And the more people do it, the more people are going to be anti-vaping. I mean, like, you know, everybody that I've spoke to, or that's chimed in on one of my posts on Facebook as a non-vapor and the thing like that, they're like, yeah, well, we don't want to be walking around breathing in all of that vapor everywhere and this and that and the other. And, you know, it's one of them things, although it's just stupid because we're all breathing in each other's air and farts and whatever anyway, right? You know, we just can't see it, you know. But I do think that something like that would actually be good because that, like, you know, if there's no actual vapor coming out, then what excuses have they got to not let you vape indoors in certain places or in?
I wasn't saying it's a bad thing. All I'm saying is I've not seen it before, and I don't know what's involved. I don't know how it works, and obviously, it's very, there we go, very high PG content though, so it's very throaty apparently according to Vic, which kind of makes sense why you don't even want to use it in a pod.
Yeah.
Or, some kind of very low wattage mouth.
Well, I mean, everybody knows the PG is what carries the flavour and is thinner than VG. And VG is what people like. The higher VG is what people say is better for cloud production, and it's a lot smoother. So, you know, like that actually makes a lot of sense that it's got high PG content. You know, compared to normal juice, because it's obviously the VG that gives you the thicker clouds and stuff like that. But, you know, I can really see this as something that could take off as long as other juice manufacturers got on board with it. And it's something that, I don't know, like how many people's like vapor dissipates in the lung? Now, okay, so how many people's like Mrs. does a vape that cries at them for vaping in the house and setting off the smoke alarms and this and that and the other and all of the other shit, you know, that gets said about vaping and all of the other things, you know, like literally with no vapor coming out, you could vape on the train. I mean, I do it anyway, but like, you know, you could vape on the train and not risk getting kicked off or told off, mildly scorned by a bloke with no authority on his lap. But, you know, it's one of them things. I do think there's a bit of substance to that. Do you know what I mean? And that's probably got some wheels to it.
Yeah, Paulie could have.
Yeah. I think he used that for the flight. Vin would have ended up like I was just thinking, like, Vinny, with all of his shit that he was going on about, like putting vape juice in fucking shampoo bottles or whatever crap he was on about so he could take it on the plane and stuff.
Just take it in a fucking bottle.
Yeah, just put it in a bottle. Just fucking stick it in your bag. Just fucking. But anyway, right.
They're more likely to look at it in a shampoo bottle. Go, what's this? This doesn't.
I just kept getting images of Harold and Kumar escape from Guantanamo Bay, you know, and he's got the bong fucking on the plane and they get chucked in Guantanamo Bay, and Vinny ending up in some Greek jail having a cock meat sandwich forced upon him. Probably not forced upon him.
It was only what, 3 hour flight for him?
3 hour flight, yeah, you know, like to me, that's just like fucking cry me a river. Do you know what I mean? Like, and what? They don't sell juice in Greece. Like you can't just go like, you know. I mean, I did it when I went to Holland.
Apparently, he said there was 2 shops on the island he was going to. So
it's probably because the island.
If you're listening, Vinny, we'd like a little Greek island vape shop tour, please.
Yeah. Well, he did mention that he might be on next week with us.
I tell you what, though, Andy, when you go to Amsterdam, try and find a fucking vape shop.
There isn't any. I swear to fucking God, I could not find a vape shop in Amsterdam. I mean, like literally.
I'll also tell you something as well. I didn't see one in Barcelona either.
right?
Like,
And
I walked around
how
quite a
many
lot
people
of
did you?
Barcelona.
How many people did you see vaping in Barcelona?
I saw a few. I saw a few, but the Spanish are heavy smokers, dude.
But mate, I was going to say to you, the few that you saw were probably from fucking England or where? Do you know what I mean? They were probably from Britain, right? The only person that I saw vaping when I went to Amsterdam in 2018, I think it was last time. Like the only person I saw vaping was another guy that was there at the same drum and bass festival as me, and he was from fucking Kent. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, and he was just had like some like basic starter kit type thing that he was vaping on.
I saw a couple of people vaping like outside eating, but they all had like very small like mouth to lung devices. I'm actually going to Google this now because I want to know if I just missed any.
Yeah, I mean, like, it was nuts. I mean, I was just glad that I took as much juice as I did with me because there really wasn't like, I mean, don't get me wrong, it weren't like I was going around looking for vape shops while I was in Amsterdam. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, it's not why I was there, but it's something that I noticed. And this is the one thing I will say though is that on the continent in Europe in general, smoking's not looked down upon as much as it is in the UK. Smoking in the UK is looked down upon and it is seen as antisocial and a public health issue and this and that and the other. But literally, you know, I mean, Sean's right. I like the only thing that I saw after going in a few of the coffee shops were fucking stars and Tweety birds flying around my head. But that's another story. You know, and it's hard to see a vape shop from a fucking boat party in the
like,
Hook of Holland.
don't get me wrong, like I wasn't super looking out for them. I was there on holiday with my wife, do you know what I mean? There for my birthday. So we went there. But according to Google, there's 11 vape shops in Barcelona. I mean, Barcelona,
right, and I'm not being funny. Barcelona's massive. It's huge, right? Like I'm not being funny. There's more vape shops than that in fucking, I don't know, Ealing, probably in London, which is a little tiny borough. Like,
in Exeter, so Exeter's classed as a city. It's not. It's a fucking glorified town, right? It's classed as a city because it's got a cathedral. That's it, right?
Yeah.
So,
like St David's in Wales, like that's just a village with a cathedral.
Yeah, we've got half the population that Plymouth has got, but we're still classed as the capital of Devon because we've got a cathedral and they ain't, and Plymouth's a shithole. But like in Exeter alone, we've got 7 or 8 vape shops. Do you know what I mean? So
that's what I'm saying. It's, you know, even in Carmarthen, which, you know, like not even joking, like, you know, like there's any shops. I mean, you know, there's like 4 vape shops now in the centre of town.
I now want to see how many are Amsterdam.
There's not a lot, and do you know what? It's one of these things. Like people still smoke. All the nightclubs have still got indoor smoking rooms. All the nightclubs have still got indoor smoking rooms. All of the pubs and everything like that, they've all got indoor smoking areas. It's not all outdoors. That's a completely fucking British thing. Like this is what made me laugh so much about all this shit about how we're going to have relaxed rules after we come out of the EU and this and that and the other. We took all of the EU rules to the fucking extreme. The ones that we took, like, you know, like for example, the smoking ones and stuff like that. We're one of the only countries actually enforce that, the no smoking indoor.
There's 10 in Amsterdam.
Sure, the only coffee shop left in Danworth going to is the grey area, mate. And like, it's not for coffee. You just go there and get what you need to get, and then just go and sit in the Bulldog Palace and just, you know, just have a drink and a fucking toasty or whatever, and smoke your good weed from there. Yeah.
Looking at the map, there's 10 in Amsterdam, and I don't know how many know Amsterdam. So Amsterdam is set on like a horseshoe.
Yeah.
And none of them are in the main horseshoe. They're all on the outskirts. Like, no tourist would ever venture there. Do you know what I mean? Because why would you?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, there's nothing there for, well, there probably is stuff there for you to see, but there's so much for you to see in the middle of Amsterdam and do.
Yeah, man. I mean, like literally, like, you know, people say, you know, like that, like Sean just said there, the old coffee shops are crap now and this and that. And it's true. You know, they're not what they used to be, but it's not like pubs in the UK where you've got to buy your beer from the pub that you drink it in, right? Like you can literally take your smoke that you bought from any coffee shop and take it into any other coffee shop, as long as you buy a fucking drink or whatever in there. What do you think? They come up checking to see you. They don't give a shit. As long as you're buying your drinks and food and whatever, they don't care. Like, I love the Bulldog Palace. It's cheesy as fuck. It's like, basically, it's like a Yates's or whatever, but, you know, it's got a coffee shop next to it as well. And it's just like, it's basically just like, like they have a normal DJ playing just like random music. Do you know what I mean? It's just, cheesy, just music. It's just, it's just like a normal bar that sells food and stuff. And it's a good laugh in there. It's not like all full of hardcore drug addict, you know.
Andy. We've been talking about going for fucking ages.
I know, mate. I'm pretty sure my passport runs out this year, so I've got to renew it. But
I don't think we're going
this year. No. That's why I haven't renewed it. I mean, like, I really did want to greenhouse effect. Yeah.
Hands up right now who thinks Expo is going ahead in May, because I don't think there's a fucking chance.
No.
I mean, I'll still be surprised if we have one next October.
Now, I'm getting really pissed off with all the fucking shit on Facebook. What is with all these William Wallace wannabes? Like, you can take our rights, but you can't take our freedom type shit. Do you know what I mean? It's like, why is it? And all the people that are fucking saying that Boris is a wanker and that he's got everything wrong and this and that and the other, they're the ones that didn't stick to the fucking rules. And now they're saying that the rules didn't work. Well, nobody fucking stuck to them, or hardly anyone. No, like loads of people did not stick to them, right? So how the fuck can they say that it didn't work if it didn't even happen? And they're like, they got it all wrong and this and that and the other. And it's like, well...
I'm just going to say one more thing as well while we're here. Is this is completely off subject. So actually, we've been talking about vaping solidly, for over an hour. Yeah, and I tell you what, it doesn't do well for viewers apparently.
No, not really.
People seem to like snack talk.
I mean, right. Okay, so going back to I had a quick look on Matthew's show that he did last night, and they were actually talking about an interesting subject about whether the vaping, like we've spoke about before, whether the vape industry's fucked up because of TVP and people with his ilk and stuff like that and blah blah blah. Has the vape scene gone shit in the UK and this, that, the other? And I say no, it hasn't.
No, it hasn't.
I say it's the company that you keep, right? So it'll be the groups that you go in. You know what I'm saying? The groups that you're members of. I'm pretty sure, and I'm a member in Vic's group. Vic's group's still alive and well, and people posting in it all the time in a community sort of act. And there's a lot of groups like it, Wick and Cogs, Jay Hayes' group as well. Like, there's a lot of people and they just post in there. I'm not sure about that Scottish accent. Well, I wasn't sure about Mel Gibson's Scottish accent, to be honest, mate.
If anybody didn't see it, and I didn't actually see it, but I was told by Matt. So if anybody, not all you guys will know who Matthew is, and actually I think we're going to have Matt on the show next week. So Matt is as a reviewer, he does reviews under the name of Nice Guy, a little bit vapey. Used to do it with another guy, but it's just him now. Does a show on a Saturday night called the Saturday Night Vape Away. Matt's a really sound guy. Like, get on with Matt really well.
Yeah.
So we asked him to come on the show tonight, but he was like, I'm already pre-engaged to something else. So I think he's going to come on the show next week. And Matt's got some really interesting points of view. He's a good laugh, good guy. So I think Matt's going to be.
It's good. I mean, Vic was there in the comments last night on the show, because it was a TVP slag off session. Yeah. So
and this is what I was getting to. So anybody that doesn't know, I was told by Matt that TVP pretty much spat his dummy out the pram and quit. He's not done. But while he was in the process of being done, he decided to try out fucking everybody that he knows and this, that, and the other, and was a complete dick about it, which doesn't surprise me from TVP, because some of the shit that he has said in the past is so fucking wrong. It's not even fucking funny.
Well, yeah, I mean, he lost his job at the post office, as a postman for being racist, being openly racist and stuff. He got back and he got sacked. I mean, like anybody, right, look, I'll be honest with you, I've got no time for racism at all, right? But anybody that feels the fucking need to go snitching to someone's employer, you're a straight bitch, right? I got no time for that kind of shit at all, right? Call a guy out on it publicly, right? Do it yourself. Call him out on it, and if it gets noticed, that's the thing. Someone's had to have gone and told him. As much as I despise racism, I despise snitches just as much, right? I really don't like that kind of attitude. This is what it's become. Posts being reported on Facebook from people that have got other groups, jealousy, this, that, the other. I mean, Adele, she's been saying on her group, 2 Girls, 1 Vape, that that basically people keep trying to post links and stuff like that in the comments, and she's like, but look, it's my group that'll get took away. It's my you know what I'm saying? It's like, and it's me that is going to end up getting a Facebook ban because of your fucking behavior, and it's one of these things, like, I personally don't think there's anything wrong with the UK vape industry, aside from a few people whose egos, right? And I mean, let's be honest, like, from what I can gather with TVP, I've never really watched his reviews. I've never really had a lot of time for the guy. I don't watch a lot of reviews anyway, though. But that's just me, I
watch quite a lot of reviews, and I don't watch TVP because I don't like him. I don't like the way he does it.
He's an arrogant prick.
I mean, he is an arrogant prick.
I'm an arrogant prick, right? I'm an arrogant prick. But most of the stuff, like, well, I'm just messing about, and people take my sarcasm for arrogance a lot of the time, and it's not. It's just a lot of the time I just say stupid shit for the fun of it. But, like, the guy, he basically reaped what he sowed. The problem that you've got, right, is you've got every single person that gets into vaping after 6 months, right? Well, not every single person, but this is what I've seen a lot of. People have only been around, like, I've not seen them about, like, I've only seen them around for, say, 6 months or whatever. They've gone from having a starter kit to having 50 different mechs and this and that and the other, and suddenly they want to be a reviewer, right? But they actually don't even have the knowledge to review or give an opinion on it because they haven't got the experience, okay? And they think that they're going to make a load of money out of it and get loads of free stuff and this and that and the other. And it just does not work that way. I mean, okay, people like Rip Tripper and stuff like that, they, made a lot of money. And
they were in it at the beginning.
Yeah.
The whole vape review scene.
The problem that I see is that people want to monetize everything. Right, they want to make money off it, like they want to monetize it, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? I'm all for making a couple of spondoolies. There's nothing wrong with that, but this is the thing: every reviewer now is doing a collab design with some fucking company on an RDA and then they, and it's an RDA or whatever they probably don't even fucking like, but they don't care. Because they've got their name on it and they're becoming vape famous and they're going to get a certain amount of the profits or whatever. Now, if you were any good as a designer, you just design your products, get them made and market them. It's that fucking simple, like, and this is the thing. I've seen a lot of products put out by reviewers that are shit. Right, and I'm not just saying that. I'm not going to name any in particular, right? I mean, all right, I will. Okay, the Bonza neck from Vandy Vape and Bogan. What a pile of wank, right? I don't care what anybody says. That thing's garbage. It's trash, right? Now, I don't get why somebody would put their name to that. I just don't get it. And unless there was some pre-signed contract, that he didn't really have a lot of choice in whatever. I really don't know, because I'd be like, okay, I'm pulling out. I don't want my name anywhere near that. Yeah. I mean, that's the way that I see that's the way that I think.
I'm not saying all reviewers' stuff is shit, because it's not. Some of it good. Some of it is good.
Yeah.
And it might not be good for what I like, but for what some people like, it might be fucking great. Do you know what I mean? But you are right. Everybody knows the Bonza mech was fucking dog shit. Do you know what I mean? Terrible hitting mech.
I'm not being funny. Look at the pulse from the pulse, right? Tony B brought Squonking to the masses at an affordable price with the pulse. Tony B and Vandy Vape, they did that. But the pulse hit like a fucking sack of shit It was poorly made. It was basically a larger plastic version of an SQ without the finger grips in it. When you actually look at the chassis and the shape of it and everything, it's basically the same. Now, for me, like, some people like it and they get on with it and everything. Sure, no, totally right. Each to their own. But I've said this before, you can't put out piss and call it shit. You can't do that. You can't, you know, and it's one of these things. Like, I had one guy try and argue with me that his pulse hit as hard as a broadside.
No.
And I was like, what? I voltage drop tested the pulse and it's abysmal, right? Now, so I was like, what do you mean? He's like, well, when I got my when I got my pulse, what I did was I got some pliers and I squeezed the lock mechanism shut on it and this and that. So he's basically modified it so it hits a little bit harder. And, you know, it's just, who's he trying to convince? Me or him? Because he ain't convincing me. You know, it's one of these things that, although some people, like, if you, this is the point, yeah, is that the pulse was great for squonking at, say, 0.2, 0.3 sort of builds. Do you know what I mean? In a single coil RDA, which is what squonking should really be done. That's what it's designed for. It's all about, like, people make me laugh. They say squonking's all about flavor because they use flavor chaser type RDAs or RSAs, whatever you want to fucking call them, single coilers and this and that and the other. And it's like, well, how can, just because the juice comes from the bottom, how can that have anything to do with flavor? It can't. It's all about.
You don't have to keep dripping.
Yeah, and they use the lower builds, not like they use the higher resistance builds with the smaller diameter coils and stuff like that. That's all about battery conservation as well. That's all about energy. It's all about not having to change your battery 50 times a day and keep dripping or filling up your tank or whatever. That's what it's about.
The idea of a single coil flavor chasing squonk, because you can fill up a nice large bottle and you can have one battery and you can go out of that and make that last you a long time without having to take a bottle, do this, that, the other.
Yeah, it's what I used to love. My vicious ant, the DNA 75C 21.
Quite a heavy.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Sean loves squonking.
Yeah, I love squonking.
And he's probably a completely. Sean, you're a very opposite vapor to the way that probably all three of us vape. Do you know what I mean? And that's great. I'm actually trying to experience a bit more of that side of vaping myself. I want to get a few different RTAs and stuff and try it.
I mean, aside from the RTAs, I try and keep sort of like my head in all of the different branches of vaping, the sub categories, you know, squonking and this and that and the other, and the billet boxes or all in ones. And so, you know, like, so I like to try. I don't really do pods. I don't know anything about them. I don't want to know anything about them, right? You know, because I don't use them. I don't use pod devices. I don't use them. I've got a couple. And, you know, I've got a couple of, and they're pretty good. Like the Orion was decent. You know, there's nothing wrong with that at all. For pod, Nick Saltz with Lost Vapor Orion, the DNA one was fucking great little mod. You know, and I've had a few different ones. I just didn't get on with that style of vaping for me, but it has its place. You know, people.
I do remember that expo, and literally everybody was walking around, and everybody pretty much had an Orion around their fucking neck on a fucking lanyard.
Can you not remember how many of them? Do you remember the half moon drip tips? Like, that was another one of the things I had with me. I had the half moon Orion drip tips. Fucking, I could have sold hundreds of them at Expo because, you know, it was just because everybody. We actually went. It was the own boy stall. It wasn't actually Dwayne on it. It was somebody else.
Those salts that year just fucking flew.
Yeah, what the elder flower type ones,
it's still my wife's daily go-to. I bought some bottles back, and that's amazing, and she still buys it. She'll buy it 10 bottles at a fucking time, 20 milligram, because that's what she likes to vape. She vapes 20 milligram. That's what. But she is one of those people that go out and she'll still have a cigarette. Does that make sense? She'll go out and have a drink and she'll still smoke.
Yeah,
that's her decision. That's fine. But she won't smoke at home. She won't smoke during the week.
People always find that hard with me. Like, my ex smoked a lot. She's a heavy smoker. People like, well, doesn't it bother you that she still smokes? It's like, no, she complains more about my vaping than I do about her smoking. It doesn't bother me. You know, if she wants to smoke, and I like, this is the other thing. You can't force your own ideals on everybody. You just can't do it.
Look at the way vegans go about it. Everybody hates a vegan because of the way they try and push everyone. It's only the same way. Yeah.
There you go. That's what that All Hallows one. Nice. Yeah, I've still got some upstairs. Actually, I was like, "Fuck, I should have brought them all." But yeah, I've got
a few of them. Really,
like literally, I was going up to the stalls, like different booths and stuff, and I had my Orion with me. Like, it wasn't filled up with normal vape juice either, and I had my Orion with me, and I was using it, and everybody was like, "Oh, where'd you get that tip from?" And I was like, out of my bag, on the back of my wheelchair. I had the bag, the nose. Like, if I got out of the wheelchair, the fucking wheelchair just fell over backwards because of the weight that was in the bag. It was like, people were pushing me and like, fucking hell, you weigh more than you look, mate.
Mate, do you remember we went on that Sunday and I had my bag with me because I was packed ready to go, and I had all the stuff and that guy searched my bag. He's like, "You can't take that in." I was like, "Mate," he's like, "You're going to be selling stuff. B2B's over." I was like, "I'm not selling stuff, mate. This is all. I've been here all weekend. This is all stuff I bought. I'm coming here for a few hours and I'm going home." And you were like, "Mate, what the fuck are you on about?"
I told him to fuck right off, didn't I? I was just like, fuck off,
it's all stuff. It's also like, look, there's my fucking dirty pants in here, mate. I'm going the fuck home in a minute. Like, I'm just coming in for a few hours. Like, "No, mate, you have to check it in." I was like, "Fuck you, am I checking it in for you guys to fucking rummage for and nick all my shit?"
Yeah, I just told her to fuck off, like, I was just like, "What are you on about? You fucking job's worth. You just let fucking about 10 different people walk in, not even check them, but decided that you're going to check his bag. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, would we look like a bunch of fucking Taliban or something? Like, like, what the fuck's going on here?"
On my first expo, they stopped me. They checked my bags, and the first thing they ask is, "Do you have any sharp implements on you?" I was like, "Well, yeah." And then they started acting like I was bringing in like weaponry. I'm like,
"No, they're talking about needles, mate. Any security guard that searches you, right? When they ask you, or police even, when they ask you if there's anything sharp in your pockets, they're not talking about a penknife. They're worried they're going to get stuck with a fucking hepatitis or a HIV needle.
It's what Chris would do because he's diabetic.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said. And then I opened the bag to show them what it was. And I was like, "What's that?" I went, "Insulin." It even literally said insulin on the side, and I'm like, "What is that?" Really?
See, I'd lose it at that point. I'd be like, when they asked me what is it, I was like, "You can't read then." Like, I'd just be like, "You can't read? No, you never heard of diabetes?"
They tried to tell me that I couldn't bring in some with some sweets and that, like, in case I went low. They tried to tell me that they had to take them away because there's food sold in there, and it's the rules. I'm like, yeah, so I'm going to wait in line for about 15, 20 minutes, pay 5, 6 quid for a bloody burger or something, whilst having a hypo, crash, and then make you lot deal with my fat ass. No.
Yeah, I mean, look, the joke is as well, right, is I just rolled on in there in the wheelchair. Nobody even bats an eyelid. I could have had a fucking IED in my bag and nobody would have even checked, right? And it's the classic. Yeah, it's the classic thing, though. Like, literally, like, like, people just... I don't know, and it's one of the reasons I fucking hate the chair so much is because you do get treated completely different when you're in it, when you're not. It's one of them things, like, you really notice, like, and it's like you see someone struggling and walking with walking sticks or whatever, and people don't seem to give a shit. But if they're in a wheelchair, everybody's like, "Oh, quick, come on, I'll help you. I'll do this, I'll do that." Yeah, I did, like, get bumped up to first class on the train. Happened to me every single stop I exchanged at. I get bumped up into first class. I've had train conductors shut the door on me when I've been struggling to get a walking stick and laugh, like, as the train's gone off. And, like, do you know what I mean? And it's just like completely the other way. When you get on the train, if you're in a wheelchair, right, they straight away, they would like radio through to whatever stops you're at, and there's somebody waiting to push you in the wheelchair between the trains. And like one's like this woman had to push, like, well, she's trying to. I just told her to stop because she must have been about 7 stone if she was soaking wet and had bricks in her pockets. She wasn't. I had all of my stuff with me, like my cameras. I had everything with me for like my 5-day fucking stay. And she was trying to push me up a ramp onto the train, and like the wheelchair was just rolling backwards, so I just literally stopped there, just pulled up, and I was like, you know, it's nuts, but they treat you completely differently. I mean, I didn't care when I got bumped up to that suite, no extra charge in the hotel. I would complain, but when the guy saw me go like walk past from a walking stick later on,
oh mate, that was funny, mate. Like, you got bumped up to a suite, and I won fucking the
guest of the day or whatever it was.
Week, didn't I? For a week or whatever, got like fucking free drinks, free.
Yeah,
fucking,
we were in the Janis Joplin. The Janis Joplin suite.
£25 for breakfast in there, and I was like, fucking sweet. I'm going out of breakfast. Fucking beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it like, and that suite was great. I mean, I fucking loved that suite. It was absolutely brilliant.
That suite was banging, mate. Fucking.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. It was great. You could tell it's posh when you go in there and they've got dust covers on the cups and stuff, like, you know, it was just, I went in there and there was like all chocolate bars and stuff all like let out and stuff, like just free of charge. It's like, okay, we'll have that for the same price. Like, it was awesome. Like, it was good having the room like that though, because we got everybody back in there after the after party. Yeah, it was a good. Rather than everybody crammed in, you know what it's like normally in a hotel room. You've got like a couple of feet round the bed, and that's it. Like, you know, so you end up, and everybody sat on the beds and this and that and the other. But we had like a 3-piece suite and a fucking massive TV and everything. It was great.
Extra armchairs, fucking great.
Yeah, it was. It was brilliant. What wasn't good was the Pizza Hut that took like 2 hours to come, and they wouldn't even bring it up to the room. I'd been on the phone complaining, and they left it down at reception and fucked off. The driver did, because like I was just gonna refuse it basically and just tell him to go home. But yeah, that took like the Pizza Hut was like across the road or whatever. Like, it was literally like fucking 5 minutes away, and like it took them like 2 hours. Like, they kept saying, "Yeah, he's on his way to you. You're the next stop."
Yeah, bullshit.
Waiting and waiting and waiting. But yeah, it's a shame if there's no expo though. I mean, come on, like it's the one. It's for me,
time of year that all of us actually get together and
get together and have a laugh, and you know, it's just it's that's one of the things that I'm noticing is that the community is starting to pick back up again online, sort of, you know, like in the groups and stuff. It's not all just sale posts and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but there's a lot of the problem that you've got now is there's a lot of subjects that in some of the bigger groups that admins won't allow, like the clone subject, or, you know, like I say, battery safety subjects and stuff like that, where people are like, you know, talking about using 06 builds on shit batteries and stuff like that. And, you know, there's certain subjects that people think, but I think is healthy. You know, it's good to have healthy debate. You know, it doesn't have to be a shit show. You know, and it's one of these things as well that you see certain people on certain groups. There seems to be a lot of trolling going on as well. You know,
yes,
it goes on quite a lot, and you know, so I don't know. It seems to me anyway that the community side of it, like online at least, is picking up again a little bit compared to what it was. I mean, I think that everything that's happened in the last year has been a bit crazy since September last year, when there was the whole vaping's killing everyone and whatever in America, and then this pandemic, or not a pandemic.
People that, you know, that know exactly what I do, they know my stance on everything. They're still trying to say to me like, "Oh, vaping's being banned. I've heard it causes cancer." I'm like, no, it's not. But I've heard it's 200 times more dangerous than smoking. No, it's not. And that lot. And then I think the best one I heard was, vaping increases your chance of catching COVID-19. I'm like, no, not wearing a mask increases your chance.
Well, whether it does or it doesn't, it's no hardship to wear a fucking mask, you know. Like, all these people, it's really starting to get on my nerves. You know, some of the shit that I'm reading, it's just, you know, it's bullshit. Just look, right? I'm not in charge of the economy, nor are all these other people. When people talk about the economy, I don't even think they really even know what they're really talking about a lot of the time. They just say shit. Like, you know, Yeah, the only thing I will say, the worst thing for me about the whole COVID thing is the amount of bullshit that I've seen on Facebook and social media in general about it. Like, that's been the worst, most frustrating thing about it, is all the people comparing it and trying to say, like, our government have got, like, well, this one guy compared the government's rules with the Hitler's Third Reich. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're comparing and saying, yeah, well, there was less rules in the Nazi government, Nazi regime and stuff like that. I was like, not for the fucking Jews, there weren't. Do you know what I mean? Like, let's not make out like that they, you know, like everybody had fucking a good time, because they didn't. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, just fuck off with your bullshit. Like, you know, it's one of these things that, I don't know, you get a lot of stupid people talking a lot of stupid shit. You know, so are there any new products or anything anybody's seen other than ones we've already spoke about that are coming out, or anything, any other news?
If any of our viewers have any mods on their Christmas wish list, being getting close. I have two that are on my wish list.
I want to get the Lycan. I want to get the Lycan. Other than that, I'm all right at the moment for mods. I've got like 60 odd, so
yeah, I've got the 3 or 4 that you see. I've got a couple more in my cupboard, but at one point I had a big.
I just want to get something different. I don't know why. I just want to get something really different.
That's why I like the billet boxes, because even though a lot of people do have them now, not so much everybody's got them, and you can literally customize them so fucking much. Like, you know, if you're gonna look at the end of the day, if you're gonna use a pod device or a mouth to lung type device or something that uses like the Nautilus coils or something like that, then, you know, like, that's literally what I use. I've got Nautilus coil in there, 25 watts. I get like. I
really like the mod company that I've known about for a while. TFX mods,
right?
TFX mods.
No, I don't actually.
She says she'd definitely love a purple Lycan to go in her shiny collection.
Right.
Yeah.
So TFX do it's all handmade by one guy, but he does some beautiful stuff. I mean, I don't know.
Oh, right, yeah, no, I do know exactly who you mean.
You won't be able to see that because of the light, but he makes some beautiful, like all handmade, like stabilized wood and acrylic stuff. But they're not cheap. But I really want something really cool, like really, do you know what I mean? Really individual to add to the collection. But
like, one thing I really regret doing is selling my Club Omega. I really regret doing that, because for me that was the ultimate all-in-one. It was a squonk. The flavor from the actual the RBA section in it was fucking awesome. It was as good. It was literally as good flavor as I've ever been able to get out of any RDA or RTA or anything like that. And it was just so nice and small and compact and everything. I'm probably going to get another one, actually, saying that. I might grab one this week.
And I really want to get I keep banging on about it. I really want to get a new RTA, which is the tripod. I really want to try a tripod RTA. I don't know why.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you. Out of all of the borrow device or billet box, the ones that use the tanks, the borrow tanks, like, there's quite a few devices now that use them. Out of all of the bridges, the RBA sections that I actually have used, the Atmizu or whatever they're called, the Vape Shell and the Vape Snail are actually two of my favourites of them. So yeah, the tripod is actually really. I wouldn't mind something like that on top of like a Limelight wicket. I really regret getting rid of my Limelight wicket now.
I almost bought it off you, and you'd sold it beforehand.
It was the Dicodes one, mate. I'll be honest with you. Unless you're a complete tosser, you won't like the Dicodes chip.
Yeah, no. I know. The only person I know in the world that likes Dicodes chips is fucking J Hayes.
Well, no, the only reason J Hayes likes them, right, is because they are high end. The chip costs $125 on its own, like, you know. So like,
but I would quite like a DNA 6, like a nice high-end custom, like even DNA.
Get Limelight, mate. Get onto Jihan, right? Speak to him, right? And just message the guy and get him to make you a nice get him to make you a nice stab wood DNA 60.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You either a squonk or do you know what I mean, or just a normal. Do you know what I mean, like reg, like you know. I'll be honest, Limelight.
I've had this, mate. Since I've had this, I've really sort of into side by side, like the idea of side by sides. It kind of makes sense. Do you know what I mean? Like it's battery
Totally,
here,
yeah.
like it makes perfect sense for a single battery mod.
Yeah, it does. It really does.
Like,
I mean,
I love this little thing. This
Nick
little
said like overkill DNA. Apparently, so they're making a DNA. That sounds pretty cool.
I mean, what Johnny at Overkill's doing? I mean, I know he shared that mod the other day, the Pokemon mod, and we had some mixed thoughts about it. But actually, what they do over at Overkill, they make some really good mods, man.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
Really dig the
My
guys.
personal views are: it looks nice. I will admit that, and I will admit it appeals to me being a Pokemon fan. I do enjoy playing Pokemon. Yes, I'm a 34-year-old bald bloke, but still, I grew up playing the game.
Yeah,
but personally, I wouldn't have it on a mod for the fact that a kid would. I'm fearful that a kid would see it and not understand like it's a vape mod and they shouldn't be touching it, or that it'd appeal to a kid and think, "Oh, I can get that kind of thing."
I mean, this is still the argument.
Craftsmanship in the mod itself that looked really good.
Yeah, no, like I said, what the guys at Overkill do is phenomenal. I really dig their mods, and when we had him on the expo, I wish we could have given him a longer slot because it was really interesting to talk to him. And they make some really cool mods, man. It's just two of them, and they do what they do, and they do some really cool pieces. I mean, I've seen Nick's custom LXV one. He had made up, and
that's on my Christmas list.
It's sweet, man. It's fucking cool. So. You know,
I will admit I've got an Overkill on my Christmas wish list, and I think you could probably guess what the other one is. The Rage.
Obviously the Rage hasn't officially been released yet. So
no, that's the only problem.
Back to the first argument of the week. Tonight,
gingers don't matter.
Evening, Colin. How you doing? But yeah, no, I really like digging the side by sides. Like some of the, like I just want something kind of like a bit rarer and a bit more interesting, and
something that you know.
Some of the Limelight stuff's really cool. You know, I'm on the Limelight group; they make some great stuff, and
yeah, they really do. I mean, like it's just quality gear. You know, it's just well made. You know, pretty much everything's made to order. The other thing as well, and yet again, I regret getting rid of my Chronic. I love they're the best squonks out. I don't care what anyone says. Like they're the best made squonks going. How you doing, Colin, mate? You know, they're the best made squonks. They're just so nice. They're like a work of art. And I just really feel like it's a really underrated sort of company, you know, because like the quality of their mods, I know they're not cheap, you know, but let's be honest, 250 quid for a mod these days isn't really that outrageous. I mean,
and this goes back to the argument, like if you don't want to pay that, you don't have to buy it.
No, you don't have to.
That want to, and it might not vape any different than a 60 quid mod, right? But some people like to spend their money on something that's made with a little bit more love and a little bit more care. And do you know what I mean? There's a little
into something that they enjoy.
Just a little bit more quality, you know. I'm one of these guys, right? You all know I drink a lot of beer, and I'm quite happy to walk into a bar and spend £12 on a fucking bottle of beer. Do you know what I mean? And people laugh at me and go, why? Because I want that beer. Do you know what I mean? It's fair enough. Most bars that are charging that is charged on the alcohol percentage and stuff like that. Like these are strong beers, but it's just how it's made and the ingredients going into it. For me, I can tell the difference, you know.
Yeah. But then on the flip side to that one, I've got bottles of like Jack Daniels, tequilas, and things like that that are a couple of years old. I'm still drinking on a crate of beer that I bought at the start of the year, kind of thing. You know what I mean? I get given the spirits as presents. The crate I bought myself as I fancied a few drinks, and that was a better deal than buying 4 cans.
I will do, Sean. That's why when you put some bits up for sale, yes, how much is that mod? Because I really like the look of it. I think that was the Sunbox and the dwarf you were vaping on tonight. Really cool. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I mean, I'm not fussy about going and spending money on something if I know I'm getting what I want from it. That's the thing. So,
yeah. In another way that people might understand it as well is there are people out there that would rather just drive around in a 1.2 shit box, and then there's people out there that would rather spend the money.
I'm going to move this. I'm going to move this lot so I can show you this TFX mod. If you guys haven't seen TFX, I mean, it's going to be difficult, but fucking look at that.
That
Do you know what I
beautiful.
mean?
Yeah, it's really nice.
Wow.
I mean, that's a piece that you just use at home. Do you know what I mean? It's a piece that you vape on and you enjoy vaping. It's a beautiful bit of kit, and I discovered those mods a little while ago. They are expensive, they're not cheap, but they're all one-offs. Everyone's different. They're all handmade, and you put an order in, and I think it takes you at least 3 or 4 months to get one. Do you know what I mean? And that's the only thing that puts me off because I'm impatient. If I want it now, do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I've got the money there, and I was like, I can have it now. I could buy that now, or I could buy that and get it in 3 months' time. And I was like, I'll buy that now. I'm so bad like that. But then there's so much stuff on my list that I want to buy. I can't get it all. Need a new fucking graphics card first.
Should have bought my 2070. He should have bought my 2070.
Mate, I should have fucking bought your 2070 Super, mate. Should have.
Mate, have you seen all of the issues with the 3000 series? Like, literally, what a shit show. I mean, like, it's one of these things.
Not on the obviously not on the founders, but yeah. And I'll tell you why that is. I'll tell you why that is, mate. Because they dropped it. This happened. None of the companies can get shit, so they're fucking buying fucking seconds and thirds to fucking make them because.
This is why
they're coming from fucking China and this, that, and the other, and they're struggling to make them. So they could go, just fucking give us what you got. Just give us what you got to fucking get these cards out, and they're fucked.
Yeah, and they haven't. Basically, the way it worked was Nvidia give all of the third party, the AOB companies, they give them the specs of the minimum requirements, and that was one of the 6 capacitors. Actually, the array of 6 capacitors actually had to be one of the 6 capacitors, if you know what I mean. One of the ones that's actually got the 6 smaller capacitors inside. Mm-hmm. So that was the minimum requirement. Now, companies were putting them out with just the 6 cheap ones in. Like, they weren't putting the one in there that basically cuts out all the electrical noise and all of the other crap that affects it all. And so it's the third party companies. Is it EVGA?
EVGA's one is fucked, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? So this is
why Asus didn't.
We're an hour and 40 minutes in, and it's the first time we've got off of vaping, which is fucking great. So,
It's weird because Vinny's normally with us, and we normally talk just utter bollocks.
Yeah,
Vinny's not here, and we talk
We're all busy giving Vinny shit. That's why.
Sure. Sean, I'm assuming that's on Facebook. Yeah, Carl Liggins. I'll check it out because I do want, I just want one nice one-off. But I love Andy's fucking Predator box that he's got. I mean, I'm sure you've all seen it, and the work on that is incredible. Especially for what it cost you.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, look, right. This is what makes me laugh: is people are going out and they'll buy, for example, and there's nothing wrong with the Death Wish Nostromo or whatever it was called, the DNA they did, and they were paying like £200 for it, like 250, 260, whatever they were. But you could actually go and have a DNA lipo custom laser etched mod made to your specification for that money. To me, it's a no-brainer. Do you know what I mean? I've got a 3S lipo in it, so I can vape a 0.06 build on that, right? Not that you need to, right? Like I said earlier on, it's stupid, but basically, an 06 build is only 23 amps on the 3S lipo, so it doesn't even get warm. So it's one of these things Like that Predator, the amount of people who said, "No, sell me that mod," and it's like, what, the one with my coil company logo on it, and I had handmade? No, that's not happening. So that was that. But yeah, I mean, like, there's a lot that you can actually get now for a decent price. I mean, you know, I will say that Ian Denny, ID Customs, they like the internal work as well. I mean, like, I've got a Mad Modder lipo DNA, which I'm probably going to sell actually because I don't use it. But basically, they're like $400 DNAs, right? And it's got lipo in it, and the work inside, the internal work, is garbage. It's so untidy and unsafe that it's, you know, it really does make you wonder why you had such a big reputation. Like, you know, I personally don't get it.
Cheers for that, Sean. I found it. I found his personal Facebook, and then I found his company Facebook, which is Vape Martyr or Vape. Looks like he makes some cool stuff, so I'll hit him up definitely. But yeah, no, I knew the work. Like, it's not just the work on the outside; it's the work on the inside of that box is so clean.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's just it's literally it's like a work of art to me, because you get some. I've seen some, and they've been just terrible, just really, really bad. Sorry, I'm trying to. Really hate it when I'm trying to push a screen and a tab between monitors, and it just gets sort of stuck in the middle. And PC.
Oh, fancy pants, 2 monitors.
Yeah, it's only because I haven't got any room on this desk for the third one. I haven't got 3, if I'm honest with you. I need a bigger desk so I can get all my controller and stuff.
Yeah, I'm thinking about switching to an L shape so I can get 2 monitors on.
I mean, I've got an L-shaped desk, but it's literally rammed, like, between the 28-inch 4K monitor and the 32-inch curved 1440p monitor.
Even my wife back there's got 2 fucking monitors.
Yeah, just go and steal one of ours, mate.
No, there are work monitors.
I mean, in all fairness, what I'm thinking of doing actually is I'm going to get one of the mounts so that I can mount the monitor on that, and then I can mount a smaller 1080p one that I can then just use that just for the music stuff, and I'll actually be able to fit my controller on the desk then, because it's the monitor stands and stuff that take up quite a lot of room, if that makes sense. I'll be able to fit more on there. But yeah, I'm looking for a bigger corner, a bigger L-shaped desk.
Sort of building a PC desk, literally in the desk.
Yeah, I've seen them, but, like, you know, it's like, how are you going to fit that into a desk? I mean, it's massive.
Yeah, you don't realise how big, like, custom, like, they're fucking.
Yeah, I don't think people get. I mean, like, look, I'll just sort of like hold my vape up next to it.
Mate, mine's big enough, and mine's nowhere near the size of yours.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'd have to, for you to be able to see it all the way. It's like goes, and then that side is where all the cables and the power supply and everything is, and look, it's even got a little door on it. And you just open it up.
Look at all the flashy lights. Yeah. You do know, people, that all that RGB makes your computer.
Yeah. You can't play games properly unless you've got all that RGB. It's just one of the things.
We are actually running matching RGB this evening.
Oh, nice.
All the white, baby, all the white.
Yeah, well, no, I've got like, this is actually blue. It's blue and white, and it's got that rain effect. Yeah. So it's just sort of like it's just got like a little.
I always put mine on solid white for shows, just because otherwise you just get fucking the camera's just like, what are you doing? Because it changes.
Yeah. I custom set the white balance before, so my white balance it doesn't change. It just stays as it is. So, like, but yeah, I mean, I love a bit of RGB. It's great. I mean, like,
two helicopters gone over me in a row. Something's going down in Exodus. Something's going down.
So, like, if you notice, like, all my lights are on.
Kicking power on a 10-year-old laptop that can barely run SteamYard.
Andy, do you just want to swap AIOs? Because I've got a black one and you've got a white one.
Yeah, we could do.
You've got the same AIO, just in different colours.
Yeah, I mean, like, I wanted the white one just for the contrast fix. I've got the white fans in the front, and then it's like I wanted the white
I've
to
got a
sort
white.
of.
Anyway,
Yeah.
we're off. We're literally having a fucking Facebook chat conversation right now. So
Yeah.
but yeah, there was another topic I was going to talk about, but I'm not going to bring it up an hour and 45 minutes into the stream. I think we'll save it for next week.
There you go. That's white. That's white.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all on white. I can change it. I can just go red.
Oh, it's on snazzy.
And go blue.
Go full rainbow. Go full rainbow.
No, this is the instant lighting.
Heading out.
So
Colin says heading over to them inbreds in Creighton, probably.
There you go. Look, that's one of the ones for the division. It comes up when I do a scan.
They are definitely inbreds and crediting. You are correct, Colin.
But some of the games now, they're actually so like Hyperscape, which is a new battle royale type game. When you go onto it, it actually comes up in partnership with IQ and all the other RGB systems, like the Mystic lighting and literally, yeah. I like Hyperscape. It's got like this sort of like turquoisey green, sort of teal type color, which is their main color, you know. Whereas like on the Division, it's grey and orange is the colors on there. Now, when you actually go on to Hype, like this is a profile that I had to make to match the game kind of thing, right? I'm just bored, far too much time on my hands anyway. But yeah, basically with the newer games, it takes over your lighting the minute the game starts up, and it's all like with this Division profile. If I'm getting shot at, the light, everything starts like the keyboard, like at the top of the keyboard starts lighting up red. The fans will start like red RGB. The RGB fans will be going red and stuff like that as I'm getting hit. It's actually quite clever, you know. And it's just one of these things. It doesn't actually make any difference. You can just turn it all off if you want.
Something that Philips have been doing for years with their TVs. They have a TV section called Ambilight. So Philips TVs have LEDs on the back, and they will match what's going on. And it's really good for your eye care. So like you know, you get eye strain.
Well, with this, it's just more of it's just more immersive. I think, you know, it's like it's one of these things like that's what they always talk about is with gaming that you know, the more immersive it is, the better, the more that you feel. So they've made getting credit on us.
if any of you come to Devon, don't go to Crediton.
Well, if you like around Wiltshire, Gloucester area, it's always the Forest of Dean, like where they say all the inbreds are from. It's the Forest of Dean. In Wales, it's just the whole of Wales. But you know, like.
Shit me. I don't know if I'm going to put that up, but
how do you circumcise accidentally and kick a sister in the jaw? Jesus fuck! I wish I never read that. Yeah, and then
Josh goes, I'm not sure if I should put that up. And
I found it very funny.
Here we go. Full on unicorn puke.
Unicorn puke, baby.
Yeah, you can't, like, obviously still like that. And the front fans are still doing their own thing as well. Wait a minute, if I do that, right?
But anyway, I think
there we go.
I think you know what? Actually, for the first time, we've got an hour and 50 minutes, and actually, most of that talk was actually related. So, Vinny's obviously our fucking problem. So, Vinny, you're fucked.
Yeah, Vinny, you're sacked, mate.
Vinny, you're fired.
Yeah, no, it's
you are correct, Sean. Every county has their own inbred town. Actually, we say Colin's there saying Crediton, but we would also say Tiverton. Any town that ends in ton really just means there's a ton of inbreds.
I'm not even joking. Yeah, like when I lived in Larne. I knew 3 people that lived in Larne, right, in the same village, and it's a very small village, Larne. It's not big at all. I mean, it's got 9 pubs and 1 shop, typical Welsh village. But, right, there was, 3 people that were married to either their first or second cousins that I knew of.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, there we go. Tivy. Sean knows Tivy.
Keep it in the family, as they say.
Sean, are you a West Country boy?
Yeah.
Where's Sean based? I don't. He's always based in the West Country anymore, is he?
I'm trying to think now. It's gone out my head. I know he's down. I know that he is down in the West Country somewhere. I know that, but it's gone out my head now.
You are based in the West Country. Sean? Whereabouts you in, Sean? Or at Sean?
Somerset.
Somerset. Fair enough. Not actually. It's literally like 45 miles away from where I am in Devon, so not very far at all.
Yeah, it's
You are near Blobbyland, are you? You're near Blobbyland.
Near Blobbyland. Yeah. I mean, I love the West Country. The West Country's great. I really do. I mean,
The West Country is great, mate. It's very misunderstood.
Yeah, I mean, people just get the wrong idea when they see stuff like Sweaty Cock Cider and stuff like that. They're just like, that doesn't sound very appetizing.
We've got crazy place names. Like, obviously, I was.
Mate, I live in Wales. You've got no crazier place names than here. Like, it's just ridiculous. You have words this fucking long with no vowels in them.
It wasn't that long ago. We were talking about a place in Woodbury. So Woodbury's halfway between here and Exmouth, so not that far away from me. Well, you know where Exmouth is probably, but not very far away. And there's a place called Inner Ting Tong, and there's Outer Ting Tong. And they go
I just read that comment.
You've just read it, Chris.
Yeah, but
I just thought you laughing because I don't really pay much attention to the scrolling coming up at times.
I've just seen it.
This is what we talk about, everybody. What's a Devonian's favourite sandwich? Anything in bread. Yes, okay, cool.
Yeah. As long as you put a jam on first, they don't care.
Cream first.
Yeah,
Cream first.
Cream first, then jam.
No, butter, jam, then cream.
Yeah.
Shut up, Chris. You said last week that you put fucking squirrely cream on your fucking scone.
Yeah, you're wrong. It's fucking wrong here.
Yeah, I mean, this
say what is right with me.
Famous for their cider,
Yeah. I mean, right. So, okay. So I was born in Swindon, all right, and I've lived all over, like Wiltshire and Gloucestershire, really, as well. Cirencester, Cheltenham, Gloucester, a few little stupid places in between. And then I lived the majority in London, but like I've still got a lot of family in the West Country, and I've always liked the West Country. It's a good place to be. Nights out in Cheltenham used to be fucking brilliant. I absolutely
find out nights out in Cheltenham are just filled with absolute beautiful ladies that have no time for a man like me.
Yeah, I mean, there is that. But if you live there, right, the chances are if you go out enough, you'll end up bagging one. So
I remember we went out in Cheltenham, so I went to stay in Cheltenham for a few days with a friend of mine's family. Went up there, we played some golf. This morning's played a lot of golf. His dad actually owns dad's an ex-PGA professional, owns a couple of really good golf shops around there. So he got us on a really nice course. Manor House, I think it was. Can't remember.
Yeah, it would be Manor House. Yeah,
beautiful fucking course. Like, got us on there for free. Like, bearing in mind, we're probably not good enough golfers to play at a course like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, but we went there, played there anyway.
I'd feed truffles to a pig.
Yeah, and we went out. We went out that night. Went out to Cheltenham, and my mate Wolfie was like, "She's beautiful. I'm going to go up and speak to her." And he walked up to her, and she just went like this. Literally, fucking. And he was just like, "What the fuck?" She literally looked at him and looked him up and down and went, "Yeah, right. Like, don't even fucking talk to me, you piece of shit." That's the way she looked at him.
It's one of them. Like Cheltenham's one of them places. It's got like a posh sort of element to it, but like it's really the wrong side of the tracks type town. It's literally half and half, and like one half's like it may as well be Brixton. The other half, it's like £1 million houses everywhere, and it's also got, it's not a proper university. It might be now. It never used to. It was a college of higher education. So you could go there and do a degree and stuff, but it didn't have university status. And that's why there's loads of women there everywhere. It's just ridiculous. And
Exeter's getting a bit like that now because the fucking students that come down here are all fucking Oxford and Cambridge rejects. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, that's what a lot of it was with Cheltenham as well. Was it was people that they couldn't get in to the university they wanted to, so they went to Cheltenham, and it was going out was awesome. And I mean, in the end, like I said to you, I worked for TGI Fridays. And the sort of drinking culture that comes along with a job like that is just unbelievable. Like, it was just insane. And our TGI Friday staff cards used to get us jumped to the front of the queue and into all the nightclubs for free and stuff. And also, all of the Fitbirds in Cheltenham worked at TGI Fridays, to be fair. It's like we used to go out. And this is one thing that I will say, right? If you're out and you're in a group, right, and there's a load of good-looking women with you and stuff like that, you've got more chance of banging another decent-looking bird, because they don't look at your, like, if you're just if it's your gang is just a complete sausage fest and like a couple of rough birds with you, like, then you will get the sort of thing, like, you know. But it's one of them things. Cheltenham was a pretty awesome part of my life, I've got to say. Like, I really did enjoy living there. Just the townies, man, just the dickheads that are there. That is the only problem. There's some serious troublemakers in Cheltenham. It's the sort of place where you go out for a laugh and come back in stitches. You know, I've seen some real bad fights in Cheltenham, real bad fights. And there used to be this Asian police officer, an Indian guy. We used to call him the Lone Ranger because he just used to stand there on his own outside, like where all the nightclubs kick out. Time kicks out right into the middle of the pedestrianised part opposite Burger King, and it's where everyone congregates. Burger King's open until really late and stuff, so everybody congregates there, and fights inevitably used to kick off all the time. Like, you could literally just stand there and just wait for the fight to start, be like, oh, that's a good one, you know. And like it was like that. And this copper, he used to jump in to anything, like, on his own. Like, it was just insane. Like, he was the toughest guy, like, ever. He loved it. He must, like, without fail, Thursday, Friday, Saturday night, he was there in the middle of Cheltenham town centre on his own, didn't give a fuck, and he weren't into arresting people either, which was...
He's going to have to take a name.
Yeah, that's what he was... That's literally what he was doing. I don't even think he was taking names, just DNA samples of his piss afterwards. Like, do you know what I mean? It was like, you know... It was ridiculous. But yeah, no, Cheltenham's great, but it's a real big drinking culture. Obviously, because of the university, it's another one of them places, you know, where you go out and it's like literally every night of the week, pubs and everything are packed. Like, you know, like, because different clubs have student nights on different nights. Monday night it'd be in Gas, Tuesday night it'd be in Enigma, Wednesday night it'd be in Time, and so on. Do you know what I mean? And then you get to the weekend. And then there was one pub that used to do £1 a pint every day, right, for like 4-hour happy hour. It's called the Frog and Fiddle. And like, literally, I don't drink anymore, so you haven't actually seen me like my pint down in thing. I've never been beaten by anyone ever, right? Like, never ever. No, Josh, seriously, it's gone, right? And everybody's like, what? I used to go into that pub, the £1 a pint pub, and I never used to buy a drink because everybody just used to challenge me. Well, 7 pints of Stella downed, and I just used to add. People used to come up to me in the pub, and they'd have like 2 pints because it's like whoever loses pays, right? You know, and people just used to come up and like be like, yeah, I'll race you. Who the fuck are you? All right. Oh, fuck. And they go and buy me a drink. And this is why I don't drink anymore. Because
I say that while I'm sat here drinking a 12% barley wine. So, you know, fucking.
Mate, I used to drink my snake bite that I used to drink when I used to drink a lot was deadly. I've
seen one of my best mates.
White Lightning and Gold Label.
Used to run one of the well-named chain bars down here, and they were very student-happy. And upstairs and downstairs. Upstairs had always written out to socials. The rugby social in Exeter is fucking... They are dirty, horrible motherfuckers, right? So they used to do all sorts of shit, and we used to see a bit of it. But, mate, some of the shit I've seen up there, like, in the past, like... He's like, literally, I've walked into the fucking toilet and there's 4 of them having a fucking circle jerk. It's like, what the fuck? Or they've like, or like dogs like he's like literally, I've walked out tonight and I've had to pick up 2 pint glasses filled with shit because they've fucking taken a shit in a pint glass. But they used to, so the rugby social was big.
5 guys, 1 cup.
The rugby social was big, and they fucking used to. Dogs like, so we got this on tonight. Blah 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 blah. It's like, what are you doing? It's like, well, at the minute we're pre-pouring pints of snake bite. So they used to pre-pour 1,000 pints of snake bite, pre-pour them, ready to go. He was like, they'll be gone in the first half an hour because they just neck them. But they used to, the big blue bottle bins.
Yeah.
They used to leave them out for them to fucking throw up in because they'd chug so much they'd throw up, and then they'd drink again and throw up and drink again and throw up. It's fucking disgusting.
I used to do a tactical spew, like, if I'd been on an all day.
What the monkey suit? Nah.
I mean, I'm glad I don't drink anymore. Like, like the hangovers. I'm one of them. Yeah, that it's either all or nothing. Like I get a hangover from 3 pints. So if I'm going to get a hangover, I'm going to want to have made it worth it. Do you know what I mean? Like, so there's no point, like with me, it's all or nothing. And once I get
had a hangover.
And the surprising thing is, though, is the few times that I have drunk since I stopped drinking fucking 10 years ago, 11 years ago, I still managed to drink just as much as I always ever did. And keep up with everybody else that still carried on drinking for all that time. And it weren't like, don't get me wrong, I got really pissed really quick, but I could still carry on drinking, carry on and carry on and carry on. But Jesus Christ, 2-week hangovers, not fun. It's just like.
Anyway, I think we should. We're at the 2-hour mark now, so I think we should call it a night.
Yeah.
And I think we should call it a night. The jam jars used to be in the mint. Yeah, the mint isn't there anymore.
I drinking cider and black all night. Got home. It'd be 6. So went down his wake up morning, realizing the bottom one was shut, top one was open. It was all purple and all carpet. Well, I pissed in the corner of the room before, so I can't say anything.
Yeah,
literally, like. Yeah, but like snake bite used to be like a real big thing. I don't know whether it still is, like whether people still drink it.
Well, lots of pubs don't actually serve you a snake bite anymore. You can order.
They're fighting through, isn't it? Like,
you can order a lager and a cider and black separately and mix them yourself, but they won't. They won't.
Right. Well, if it's got black currant in it, it's diesel anyway. It's not.
Or snake bite and black, but they won't.
No, literally, right? That originally was called diesel. Right, like back like when I was like 16, 17, like when I was thinking
like red diesel.
Yes, that's why it was, and it was to get around the thing of people not serving. You couldn't get snake bite anywhere, but you could buy a pint of diesel, and it was because of it was called snake bite. So it was the managers of these chains of pubs were like, yeah, no, we're not going to sell snake. So that's what they done was, yeah, there you go. Sean just said, hello, remember diesel. So on the birds, you get, yeah, that's really tolerant and amazing comment.
But there's lots of pubs that will not serve you a snake bite anymore. You ask you a snake bite, no, you can.
They'll send you a double 35ml shot vodka, though.
Yeah, but you're allowed to. You're allowed to sell a triple. You're allowed to sell up to quads. You can't sell any more.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, it's like, really.
But there's nothing to stop someone going, I'll have fucking 5 shots of whiskey and a Coke and fucking pouring them into.
Like my granddad used to drink he'd get half a bitter and the light ale in a bottle and mix it like together. He'd get like a bitter and then it was like a light ale or whatever. He used to like so he'd have half a pint of bitter in a pint glass and then he'd pour the ale into it. Like
he
used to do that.
You're all right, Alex.
Yeah, how you doing, Alex? How you doing, mate?
Right. Anyway, I think we're going to call it a night. So
thanks everybody, and
it's been a really good show, really interesting show. So anyway, guys, we shall we'll see you next week.
Yeah, catch you next week. Yeah. Hopefully, there'll be more than just the 3 of us.
Yeah, hopefully, it'd be nice to get Paul back.
Yeah,
it'd be nice to get Paul and Zippy on as well. Yeah,
Slack in.
Paul and Zippy. Yeah,
yeah,
nice to get both of them back. But one time we might get a full house of 6 of us, but it's very rare that happens.
Yeah.
Very rare that happens.
Yeah.
But I know we are. Hopefully, we're going to get Matty on next weekend. So come and say hi to Matty. Matty does a show like ours on a Saturday night, and he's a reviewer as well. So be interesting to get some different points of view on stuff.
Yeah.
So come and join us next week, and yeah, we'll see you all next week. So bye,
Thanks,
everybody.
everyone.
Ta-ra,
Bye.
everybody.
Bye.